For this project, we're going to be creating some Mad Libs, which is a story-based project which relies on user input to create some very funny stories. So it's going to look like this. First, it will ask us to enter a noun and then a verb we can type in code, then a noun again we can type in Bob, and finally another verb which will be hide. Then it's going to generate a story for us, such as once upon a time there was a banana who loved to code all day. One day Bob walked into the room and caught the banana in the act. Bob, what are you doing? I'm just coding. What's the big deal? Well, it's not every day that you see a banana coding in the middle of the day. I guess you're right. Maybe I should take a break. That's probably a good idea. Why don't we go hide instead? Sure, that sounds like fun. And so Bob and the banana went off to hide and had a great time. The end. So as you can see, it put our words into a fun story. But let's get started immediately with creating this project. So first we're going to create a function called getInput, and it's going to take a word type of type string. Then inside here, we're going to get the user input. So the user input of type string is going to equal input. And here we want to get a formatted string and say enter a word type. So we don't have to type in enter a noun, enter a verb over and over and over. We want to save time in doing that. Then we're going to return the user input. Now with this, we can actually get the user input. We can type in noun1 is equal to get input and the word type, which is going to be a noun for the first one. Then we can tap that again and get verb1. I'm going to change this to verb. Then we get noun2, and that's going to be a noun again. And finally verb2. And you can add adjectives and other kind of word types, but for this simple example, we're just going to add verbs and nouns. So this was actually supposed to be noun. I don't know what I wrote there. And verb. So now we have the inputs, and we just need a story to put these inputs into. So here we can type in story, and we're going to create a multi-line story because it's really hard to write everything on one line. As you might imagine, it's going to go all the way out of the screen. So we're going to use a multi-line string. So inside here, we can start with our story. We can say once upon a time, there was a noun, one. And that will insert our noun into that string. Who loved to verb, and I want that to be verb1 actually. So let's refactor that, verb1. Who loved to verb1 all day. And as you can see, that is the concept behind Mad Libs. We are creating the story, but we're not immediately writing the information inside, such as the verb and the nouns. And as I said earlier, you can add an adjective, so we can type an adjective, let's say 1 is going to equal get input, and we're going to add the adjective. So with that, we can add the adjective in front of the noun. We can say adjective, and now we have an adjective and a noun inside this string. Now for the rest of the story, I'm going to copy and paste that in because it's really redundant to write that all out in front of you. As you can see, you just add a line and you continue writing your story. And at the end, we just need to remember to print the story once we're done adding all the information. So once we run this, we can add everything that we added earlier. We can say banana, and then for adjective, we can type in epic. For verb, we can say code again. Another noun is going to be James this time, and the last verb is going to be hide again. So now we have once upon a time there was a epic banana who loved to code all day. And then the rest of the story is the same. So that was just a fun game that you could create in Python. It's very simple. It's a very good starter project, and I recommend you create your own stories. And also, instead of adding stuff such as verbing, which will often get it wrong, I would recommend adding something such as verb plus, let's say, present tense, so that the user knows which tense to insert, because actually trying to get the correct tense correct with this is almost impossible. So as a homework project, create your own Mad Libs project and please share it in the comment section down below of this course.